Well, all right, people. So I hear a lot of people saying that they want to see Lashley versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, and let me explain why this would be a bad feud. Again, I emphasized in my previous video, I really have nothing against Bobby Lashley as a wrestler, and I really don't have anything against Brock Lesnar as a wrestler. This more centers around the stupid fucking creative team. I mean, this is such a clusterfuck. They give the belt to Miz, who they jobbed out for 2 months. They give the belt to this guy for 8 days, and then just out of nowhere, they give it to Lashley. No build, no feud, no nothing. They just give it to Lashley. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They're just doling out title changes like that. Like no, just a random ass fucking match on Raw. Oh, Miz loses the title belt. Um, and now people want to see Lesnar versus Lashley, which would be terrible because Brock Lesnar, if that actually happened, Brock Lesnar would come back, probably be on Raw once or twice, cut a 2 minute promo, give an F5. Then you would get to the actual match at WrestleMania, and it would be 10 German suplexes, 5 regular suplexes, 3 F5s, and that's it. So this Brock Lesnar, when he came back in 2012, he was awesome. He was a beast. He was a badass. But ever since then, he's slowly deteriorated into this stupid fucking suplex city bullshit. I mean, this is retarded as fuck. Oh, he goes out there and does suplexes. That's his gimmick. He does the same fucking move in the match for fucking 6 years straight. And that's a good gimmick. I mean, it was good for a match or two, but it's like move on from the fucking bullshit WWE. They find something good every once in a while, and usually mostly it's by luck. They'll find something good, and then they'll just beat it to death. Beat it to death. Shove it down your throats. I like a steak dinner, people. I actually just had steak a few hours ago, but I would not want to eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's what they do with Brock Lesnar. Again, it's not his fault. It's not Brock Lesnar's fault. It's the stupid creative team's fault. They've got talent, but they don't know how to use it properly. They don't know how to build storylines properly. And this is the argument I get into with a lot of people is does WWE suck? I mean, everybody pretty much acknowledges that this company is a shit company. That the product is just totally garbage. But the question is it because the wrestlers suck or is it because the creative team is a piece of shit? I usually side with the fact that the creative team is a piece of shit. Um, I mean, you even look at Roman Reigns now. Like, he sucked back in the day, but he's doing a little bit better now with himself. Same thing with Cena. The creative team is the one that fucked him up. Um, so I think this feud would be terrible. But really, any feud would be terrible because the way that Lashley got the belt was so fucking stupid, right? He was United States champion, and then all of a sudden, just one day out of the blue, he's WWE champion. No build, no storyline, no struggle to get the belt. Just a random match on Raw a month before WrestleMania? Really? What is this creative team doing? It's like they have no plan. It's just like they're sitting on Monday at like 5 o'clock. Oh, what are we gonna do? We got a jobber as our WWE champion a month before WrestleMania. Oh, let's just give the belt to Bobby Lashley. It's like there's no planning, there's no thought. It's just a spur of the moment decision. And Lesnar's by the way, Lesnar is probably the last thing this company needs. Like, I like Brock Lesnar, but at the same time, again, I keep harping the point that this company needs to build new talent for the future. You can't keep relying on Brock Lesnar. You can't keep relying on The Undertaker and all these people who are 50 years old, who are on the worst half of their life now. You can't keep relying on those people. You got to build new talent. Pick a couple people. Go with them. Pick whoever. Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Braun Strowman. I don't give a fuck. But you gotta have superstars. You gotta have top talents, top draws. And this company just doesn't have that. Oh, Ruthless Ranger, they got Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, a fucking jobber for 10 years that they just randomly gave the belt. Is he the superstar? I mean, AJ Styles was up there for a while, but now he's a fucking like average wrestler, mid carder. It's like they cannot build any new stars. It seems like. And this is, again, a top reason why this company sucks. And that's the fault of the creative team. These wrestlers cannot control the storylines. They can't control if they're in the mid card or not. They can't control if they win or lose matches. That's why I blame the creative team for the shit that we see on a weekly basis. And the shit that's going on with the WWE Championship right now is a failure of the creative team. It's, I said in my previous video, it's almost like the championship now feels like the 24/7 title almost. Just random title changes out of fucking nowhere. Um, so we'll see what happens going into WrestleMania. At least Bobby Lashley wasn't jobbed out like The Miz. Wasn't being embarrassed by non wrestlers like Bad Bunny before he won the title belt. At least we can say that. But it's just like, it feels really rushed. There was no planning for him being WWE champion, no build, no feud, no anything. Who knows what the fuck they're gonna do? They might have a triple threat. We'll see what happens. Um, but I mean, we're like a month away from WrestleMania, right? And it really seems hopeless at this point. What is Brock Lesnar gonna return and they're gonna have a 2 week build? I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. But I don't want to see Lesnar versus Lashley. That's for sure. Uh, and these people are, Lashley and Lesnar. Again, two people of the ruthless aggression era, which, I mean, they're still in decent shape, but they're not like people like Goldberg, at least, where Goldberg's like 50 some years old. At least they're still in their 40s, but still these people are probably in their tail end of their career. These are people who became top stars when WWE was actually, watchable. Wasn't great, but it was way better than it was now in the ruthless aggression era. Again, they keep feeding off of people from these past eras, like the ruthless aggression era, the attitude era, and now that the attitude era people physically cannot wrestle anymore, they are dropping like flies. They would keep going to the well of the attitude era, but these people, a lot of them, physically cannot wrestle. Some of them are fucking injuring themselves in major fashions in the ring, like Sting, and embarrassing themselves like Undertaker and Goldberg. That now they're moving to the ruthless aggression era. They're plucking guys out of the ruthless aggression era like Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, um, Edge, which I don't mind having those people on the on in matches, but you have to strategically use them and build up new talent at the same time. And they are not building up new talent, and that is the problem I have. And I always ask, what are they going to do in 5 or 10 years when they don't have the people from the ruthless aggression era? Because that was really the last decent era of wrestling. After fucking WWE went PG in 2008, it really started going downhill. I mean, it was already going downhill, but especially after CM Punk and the summer of Punk. After that, it was just a clusterfuck of bullshit. So I mean, who are they gonna fucking use in 5, 10 years? Because they're not on a track to build new talent right now. I mean, NXT is just a rotating wheel of indie wrestlers that never amount to anything. It seems like it's like every year there's like a new group of people who seem like they have potential, seem like they have athleticism, seem like they have wrestling ability, but they never amount to anything. They never amount to the superstar status. It's like, oh, another NXT person made their debut. Well, great. You look at all these guys from NXT that had promise, that never really amounted to anything. They just kind of stayed in the mid card or the lower mid card and never achieved that upper echelon of stardom. And it's not their fault really. It's the creative team's fault. So I just asked, what are they going to do in 5 or 10 years when, they have no new stars, they have no past stars to go back to. I mean, what are they going to fucking bring back people like Jack Swagger? I mean, seriously, are they going to bring back Santino Marella? Are they going to bring back fucking Heath Slater? I mean, are they going to bring back the perennial mid-carders of the 2010s? Because these are just guys that they have names to them, like people recognize their names, but they're not Rock level. They're not Steve Austin level. They're not Undertaker level. So there you go, people. I know I kind of got a little bit off topic there, but it all kind of ties into the main point that I was making, that WWE has no new talent and they keep relying on people of past eras. And I don't got a problem with Bobby Lashley. I think he's done some decent shit, um, but at the same time, his title reign was just really weird. His title victory was just out of the blue, no build, no feud, just very very random, and that's unfortunate. They could have built it up, they could have made it seem special, but he just went from like U.S. champion to WWE champion, and it's like the U.S. belt is a piece of shit. And I said at least they made Lashley seem somewhat of a champion. They kind of built him up and put him over some people. But that U.S. belt is still a piece of shit. And I wish, okay, have him drop the belt in a fashion where he doesn't get buried. But then have him in a couple feuds where he goes over people, build him up, make him seem even more tough before you give him the WWE Championship. Because you really devalue your top belt when you give it to a guy like The Miz, who you made like a jobber for the last 2 months, and then 8 days later he drops it and gives it to Bobby Lashley. Like, they really fucked this up. So I think that's enough ranting on WWE for one video. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like to see Lesnar versus Lashley? Why or why not? So there you go, people. There's my thoughts on that.